Welcome to the AI for Career Success video overview by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. Today, we're going to break down a truly landmark event in the tech sector, OpenAI's recent massive funding round. Our analysis synthesizes some of the expert commentary that followed the announcement, particularly from industry voices like Dan Sheehan and Emil Protolinsky. So let's start with the headline number that really turned heads, $122 billion. That represents the total committed capital in OpenAI's latest raise, and it sets an entirely new record in the history of venture funding. And that massive investment leads to an even more consequential figure, a post-money valuation of $852 billion. A valuation of this size puts OpenAI into a very exclusive club, rivaling some of the largest, most established public companies in the world. To really understand what's going on here, here's how we'll break it down. We'll start with the record-breaking raise itself, then we'll unpack that huge valuation. After that, we'll look at the strategic investors involved, put this all in the context of the bigger AI race, and finally, discuss the critical shift from focusing on growth to focusing on profitability. All right, first up, the mechanics of the raise. This wasn't just a big funding event. It was, in fact, the largest of its kind in the history of Silicon Valley. And the way it was put together is also pretty noteworthy. The initial target was already an ambitious $110 billion, but the demand was so intense that the round actually closed at $122 billion. And here's a fascinating detail. For the very first time, they opened the offering up to individual retail investors who collectively chipped in over $3 billion. Okay, so how can any company justify a valuation of over $800 billion? Well, the logic behind it really comes down to one single factor: an extraordinary, almost unheard of acceleration in revenue. Just consider this growth trajectory for a moment. In late 2023, OpenAI hit $1 billion in annual revenue. By the end of 2024, it was generating that same $1 billion every quarter. And today, the company is bringing in $2 billion in revenue every single month. The velocity of that growth is just remarkable. To put this into perspective, OpenAI, a privately held company, is now valued at more than AMD and Netflix combined. Its valuation is now on par with JP Chase, which is the world's largest bank by market capitalization. That's the scale we're dealing with. Now, who is putting up all this capital? It's important to see this as more than just a passive investment. This is a strategic coalition of technology and finance giants who are all underwriting what they believe is the foundational layer of the future AI-driven economy. The investor list is a veritable who's who of global technology. You've got Amazon, NVIDIA, SoftBank, and of course, their longtime partner, Microsoft. This concentration of capital really shows a clear strategy among big tech, which is to hedge their positions by investing substantially in every single major AI contender. According to OpenAI's CFO, Sarah Fryer, their official mission is to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. From that perspective, putting together such a diverse and powerful investor base is a crucial step toward achieving that kind of widespread distribution and impact. This funding is also a decisive power move within the highly competitive AI landscape. This capital serves as a strategic war chest, and it's intended to solidify OpenAI's leadership position against its primary rivals. In the valuation race among private startups, this round firmly establishes OpenAI in the number 2 position globally. It's now trailing only SpaceX, creating a very distinct top tier in the private technology market. This brings us to our final and perhaps most consequential point. At this scale of valuation and investment, the strategic imperatives for the company have to evolve. The focus can no longer be solely on growth. It has to be on demonstrating a clear path to profitability. Analyst Dan Sheehan describes this as nation-state scale capital. And his point is, at this level, investors demand more than just top-line revenue growth. They require evidence of operating leverage, which is really just proof that the business can become more profitable as it gets bigger. And herein lies the fundamental challenge. Even while generating over $20 billion in annualized revenue, OpenAI is reportedly not yet profitable. This reality signals an end to the build-at-all-costs phase and the beginning of a new era that has to be focused on financial discipline. So this leads to the ultimate strategic question. With this unprecedented capital and valuation, will OpenAI become the definitive economic engine of the AI era, or does it risk becoming just an immensely expensive, though critical, component within a much broader, more distributed ecosystem? The answer is going to define the next chapter for the entire industry. Thank you for watching. At AI for Career Success, this is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. If you like these videos, use the QR code at the beginning of this video to buy us a coffee, or hire us to coach you or your employees in AI. We encourage you to subscribe to the AI for Career Success YouTube channel, and please like, comment, and share to help us reach a wider audience.